all around the country.
Wait.
Have you watched Polar Express?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Look at this. Mavi, come over here. Look at this I'm doing. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the that rotate? You're so filthy. Can't see it anymore.
Greenfield Village Railroad. For the safety of our younger riders, we ask that the adults with them place themselves on the outside of the road. If that's not possible, please make sure that they are held or easily within your reach. Also, we ask that you do not stand up and move around at all while the train is in motion, and keep all your body parts inside the car at all times. Eating and drinking is not permitted, but water from an enclosed water bottle or cup is just fine. So sit back, we're heading over to the Firestone Station, which also is the entrance to the Greenfield Village. Enjoy your ride, thank you. And we now are on our way. We are in Railroad Junction District, and here you see the Smith Creek Depot. This is where a station master and his family, if he had one, would live and work. Does that sound familiar to some of you that were working from home? This was built in 1858 in Smith Creek, Michigan, which is about 11 miles west of Port Huron, Michigan. Just before the time of the Civil War, people who lived in the community relied on this depot not only for accessing the train, but also to get their mail and packages delivered and received. Henry Ford had it brought here because it has a young Thomas Edison connection. Across the street is the Edison Illuminating, where young Henry Ford was an engineer at a very early age. Up ahead is the Detroit Toledo Milwaukee Roundhouse, built in the year 2000, but made to look like one from Marshall, Michigan, built in 1884. This is a place where we store our steam locomotives and other rolling stock that need repair or maintenance. We have a highly qualified staff that takes care of that. In front of the roundhouse is the Pierre Marquette turntable that was built in 1901. That's how you get the different locomotives and the rolling stock in and out of the roundhouse. Now we pass through the Liberty Craft Works. In this district you can see pottery making, weaving, tint making, and glassblowing. We are now coming into our final district. It's called the Working Farms. Here you come into this area, you step back in time, 1880. There you'll see the farm hands dressed in period clothing, and they're working on the land just like they would have back in the day using the same tools. Going into the house, you'll see the people at work preparing meals and doing all the chores that people do on the farm. Place you beautiful. We also have some sheep out in the pasture. They're merino sheep. They're also in the barn. Beginning in the first week of May, our staff will be shearing the sheep just like they did back in the 1800s. If you have a chance to come back, you don't want to miss the opportunity. We are now coming into the Firestone station. Please remain seated. The engineer will set a brake and give us the sound of a single whistle, letting us know that it is safe to come off the train. You'll exit over to your right side at this time. A reminder to you, for the safety of our younger riders, we ask that the adults with them place themselves on the outside of the rope. If it's not practical, please make sure that they are held or easily within your reach. Also, we ask that you do not stand up and move around while the train is in motion, keeping all your body parts inside the cars at all times. Eating and drinking is not permitted, but water from an enclosed water bottle is just fine. The trip around the Greenfield Village lasts 30 minutes, and we will be making one stop over at Smiths Creek Station before coming back here. Thank you.
Whatever they stop at. Go.
We'll say goodbye to Hans, our station master, and I'd like to thank them for making sure our The Greenfield Village is divided into 7 different districts. The very first one is the Henry Ford Model T. Here you can see the birthplace of Henry Ford. He was born on July 30th, 1863 in the white farmhouse that you see on your left. He was the oldest of 6 children, and he left his farm at the age of 16 because he wanted to work with machines. He went over to Detroit. Step over to the home and find out from our presenters more about his early life. Then they'll go over to the Ford Motor Company and learn how he came up with that invention, the Model T car, that changed the world forever in 1908. Just up ahead is Main Street District. Here you'll be able to see the home of the Wright brothers and the Wright brothers cycle shop that was the birthplace of aviation. We also have Mrs. Cohen's millinery. Stop over and see some of the beautiful hats that are being made for spring. Down the street is the Herschel Stillman Carousel, built in 1913. Take a ride on a menagerie of animals. And the statue of Thomas Edison takes us into Edison at Works District. What's in front of us is Menlo Park Complex that was brought here from Menlo Park, New Jersey. In this great building on the 2nd floor, we call it the very first research lab. And this is where Thomas Edison and his crew came up with many inventions. The phonograph, the light bulb, just to name a few. Over 420 patents were received here. And the Siegelmen that worked for him would go down the street and they'd rent a room from Sarah Jordan's boarding home, the yellow home that you see up there. In 1879, it was the very first home in the entire world fitted for electrical power and lighted. Do take a walk. You have to go inside the building to see what the very first one looked like. Next to that is Fort Myers Laboratory. Edison wintered in Florida and kept on working. We come into our Porches and Pilos district. This is a place of some homes of famous people and just some ordinary people. When you come into this district, you're going through over 300 years of history. We have the home of Robert Frost, the home of Noah Webster. He's the one that wrote that American Dictionary of the English language back in 1828. We have the Gidding family home, Cotswold Cottage, that was built in 1619. It comes from Chetford, England. And just in front of us is the Susquehanna Plantation from Tidewater, Maryland, built in 1835. It was 700 acres big back in the day. Tobacco was its crop cash. Slaves worked this plantation. Go into the Susquehanna home and find out about the hardships they faced. The orange home you see there is the Plimpton family home. It's the oldest American home that we have here at Greenfield Village from the early 1700s. Mr. and Mrs. Plimpton raised 7 children in that single room home. You must go inside and see it. The Ferris windmill, built in 1650, comes to us from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It was a gift to Henry Ford. It happens to be the oldest standing windmill in the entire country. And we have the Daggett family farmhouse. There's Mrs. Daggett giving us a wave. Built in 1754 from Andover, Connecticut. Mr. Daggett was a carpenter and built that house. You must learn how he came up with the idea of his own heating and cooling system back in the day. Henry Ford had a love for the railroad, and the staff at the museum back in 1970s realized this, and they wanted to build a perimeter railway around the Greenfield Village. This 3-mile railway using standard gauge rails is a way of getting around the Greenfield Village and seeing what we do have that you can stop and look at when you do walk around. We have the Torch Lake that's pulling our train right now. It was built in 1873. It's the oldest running steam locomotive in the country. Take a visit over to the Detroit, Toledo, Milwaukee roundhouse here at the village and see our other steam locomotives we have, Dalton number 7 and the Edison. Pulling our second train today is the GE diesel electric, built in 1942 for the Navy. We use it here as a switcher, meaning that we can start it up and it helps us move any rolling stock around the tracks when needed. We are now entering into our wildlife preserve. It's about 11 acres big. I'll let you sit back and enjoy the sounds that a steam locomotive makes, and also keep your eyes out for any wildlife on either side of the train.
You know that smoke?
A squirrel! That's a squirrel!
Are very vintage cars, and the people that own them have nothing more than to talk about them. We also are returning historic baseball to this Walnut Grove area beginning June 12th. Come and root for the La-Di-Das and the Nationals as they play baseball according to the 1867 rules. Just in front of us is the Henry Ford Academy High School, built in 1997. The students are not in the buildings during this time. I understand they'll be returning next week. 10th and 12th graders attend in this area. The 9th graders attend over at the museum. Henry Ford quoted saying, "To learn to do is by doing." And these students have an opportunity to go through the museum and the village and learn firsthand what they're studying in their classrooms. Not many schools can do that. Up ahead in the vintage railroad cars, that's where the Brookwood seniors will have their classes. To be a student here at the Henry Ford Academy High School, one must live in Wayne County, Michigan, and after an application is put in, it's the luck of the draw that your application is pulled, so you can attend high school here for 4 years tuition free. the Martha Mary Chapel that Henry Ford built in honor of his mother-in-law, Martha Bryant, and his mother, Mary Ford. Since 1935, many wedding celebrations have been celebrated here in this non-denominational chapel. Maybe you know somebody that had a wedding ceremony here. And next to that is a Scotch Feldman School. Henry Ford attended early elementary in that once room schoolhouse. In front of us is the Taste of History restaurant. If you want to enjoy a beverage or snack, this is a good place to buy something. They should be still serving hot lunch. They use the recipes from some of our historic homes here for the recipes at the lunch stand. And just up ahead is the Eagle Tavern Restaurant. Not open last year, but it is returning. It will be opening on May 20th for lunches. Step inside and you'll step back in history, 1850 to be exact. The wait staff and are dressed in period clothing, and the many selections come from that time period. We are now coming into the Smiths Creek Station. Please remain seated. The engineer will set us a brake and give us the sound of a single whistle that lets us know it's safe to come off the train. You'll exit over to your left side at this station, and I see that we have our station master Sue there to help out in the deboarding. It is now safe to come off the train. Do look around and make sure you have
Still filming this. Bro, this train is slow.
Just stop.
Why are they ringing the bell already? Look, the driver tooted at us. I'm filming this.
Yeah, that's not good.
Nice, he threw a stick in the camera. Keep doing it. Whoa.
Man, if you watch me see it, it goes.
I'm suicidal.
I think this is my favorite crossing signal. Here it comes. I see it go down.
Boom.
I don't know this one.
It's not gonna start now, I think. When the train pulls the whistle, I think it starts going.
No.
I hear the chugging thing.
Yeah, I don't see it, but it's got to be close because I see the
I
train.
see it. I
You
see
see it?
it.
Here it comes.
Why is it not doing that?
There it goes.
I think that was your alarm clock. Wake up! Wake up!
Matthew!
Supposed to be little baby lambs in there.